Okay, so I think after that stream with Rogue, Propanky, and Asterisk, I think we could all use a little bit of a palate cleanser. So I know I said last time that, well, by last time I mean earlier tonight, that I was probably going to hold off on doing another stream until next week. But you know what? After all that, I think we could use a little bit of palate cleanser, just something to kind of, uh, because I think we need to kind of come down from that, a bit of insanity. Um, so I think we'll just go ahead and continue reading through the not so awesome document. Let me just go ahead and switch over to the document. Okay, so let me check the chat real quick. How are you guys doing tonight? We currently have 2 viewers, it looks like. Let's see. Vehemity says, this says a lot about the socioeconomic state of Serbia. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Goodly Draw says, sounds like Plants vs. Zombie music for some reason. Yeah, kinda, I guess. Alex, once again, saying, hi, Film. Hey, how are you doing? Okay, let me actually, hang on, let me first hide my screen. I'm just gonna find the link to my Streamlabs. And I'll get to the reading in a minute. I just want to first find the link just real quick. Y'all can just talk amongst yourselves. Just give me a minute. Okay, pin the message. All right, so that's there. If you guys want to donate to the stream, feel free to do so. And yeah, I probably will break out the rum for this. Not just to give you guys some incentive to donate, but also just because I think a lot of us could use a good drink after what happened earlier tonight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start reading. Let me just silence that. Bruxel says the 9/11 of the internet. Yeah, that's true. This has been quite the night, or day rather. Anyway, so the last time I read the document, I was reading the section on Holly Brown, the human resources person. Sorry, I'm kind of blanking. So now we're gonna go on to Lewis Lovehog, aka Linkara. The guy behind atop the fourth wall. For those of you who don't know, he is a comic book reviewer, and I say is because he's still active. I mean, obviously he's not part of Channel Awesome anymore, but he still reviews comic books, and he's also become a bit of a lolcow in his own way. Like of course, there's the whole thing about him trashing Oni Plays because of how they made jokes about him. And just some other weird shit. But anyway, so we'll just get started with Lewis Lovehog, Linkara, joining the site in Inked Reality. I joined up with the site when I had very few reviews, maybe 5 or 6. By the way, should I? Do you think I should try to do this? Oh hey, Alex likes to draw. Sent in $1.01 saying, "Triplets born, the throne awaits. A seer warns of a deadly fate. Give up your children, separate, bide your time, lie in wait." I believe those are the lyrics of Sonic Underground. I didn't watch that show, but okay. Vehemity says, Linkara, the guy who seethed and coped at Oni LMFAO. Yep, that is indeed what he did. Anyway, so let's see. If you guys want me to do a Linkara voice, I can do one, but probably not. But anyway, so I joined up with the site when I had very few reviews, maybe 5 or 6. My meeting with Mike Machad was at night, or rather very early in the morning. I'd say around 3 or 4 a.m. Central Time. While I admit in hindsight it was unprofessional for that to be the case, it wasn't really a problem for me then due to an erratic sleep schedule. Excuse me. Just a little tired. After informing me that I was on the site and they enjoyed my early work, I was told of some of the plans for the future of that guy with the glasses. If I recall correctly, even then the plan was to eventually rebrand it as Channel Awesome so that the focus wasn't strictly on Doug Walker's work. Yeah, it's a little ironic considering Bruxel says you should review the Sonic Underground DVD. You know what? If someone sends it a copy, sure, I might take a look at it. Sorry, just kind of looking around. Anyway, specifically, the plan was to break the site into various satellite websites. The central one for movie and TV reviews, one focus on video games, and one focus on comics and animation, including anime and manga. So, yeah, this already is a bit of a problem because, as we all know, that never happened. I mean, it kind of did because we got Blister Thumbs, which was the video game site, but there was never one for comics and animation. So, just keep going. While I don't While I don't think the name Blistered Thumbs existed yet for the video game site, there is definitely no name yet for the comics and animation site, and there never was. And my memory can be trusted, even back then, Machad was suggesting I could head up that satellite for comics and animation, referred to as Inked Reality from here on out for the sake of simplicity. The way he described these plans, it seemed like they would be happening in the near future. Since I was young, eager, and enthusiastic about the idea of managing a collection of sites, I started looking for talent. I put together a contest for people to submit their work and made it a private video on Blip so he could review the idea and let me know when we'd be ready to launch. That time never came, although some changes at Blip at one point a few years later released every private video to the public, confusing one or two people who found the video later. Alright. While we later came up with the Inked Reality name while spitballing a few ideas, there wasn't really any attempt to advance it at any point. The Inked Reality eye catch featured at the end of several videos came from Team 4-star member Masako X, who was also doing videos for the site by that point. He liked the idea of a satellite website as well and did the eye catch on his own initiative. While Machad approved of said eye catch, there still was never any momentum to move the idea of a satellite site for Inked Reality forward, nor any discussion of me potentially running it or anything of the sort. Yeah, I actually used to watch Linkara's videos quite a bit back in the day, even though I wasn't like super like big into comic books. And I remember at the end of each of his videos, there would always be the little Inked Reality thing at the end. And I never understood what that was, but yeah, that's what it turns out. I was looking in the chat. Vehemity says, please review your PO box so we can send you copies of Sonic Underground. Definitely not pipe bombs. Absolutely none to be found in your mail. Don't worry. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a PO box quite yet. I thought about looking into one, but they're kind of pricey. So I'd have to wait a little bit. But I don't know. At some point, I probably will. I'll probably set up a PO box. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep going. After Blistered Thumbs launch, I did assume that Inked Reality would actually follow at some point. I was unaware of the difficulties Blistered Thumbs was facing until after the fact. By this point, I really had no desire to run Inked Reality because of the amount of time and energy I was putting into my own show. But it didn't seem... But it didn't seem to matter because as far as I know, there wasn't any other momentum for launching Inked Reality anyway. Eventually, Blistered Thumbs closed, and I came to realize that not only was Inked Reality likely never going to happen, but that the eye catch was promising a thing that did not exist, would not exist, and even if it did, was promoting a website that was slowly losing interest in its producers. I commissioned Masako X to design a new eye catch for my videos that I still use today. Well, at least some good came out of that. Moderator management. For a long while, the Channel Awesome forums only had one moderator, Matthew Buck, aka Film Brain. While others like Mike Machad had administrative access, they did not handle any day-to-day moderation in the forums. Yeah, that's a good sign, you know, like have your site's forums being sought after by one guy. Like other people can do stuff in the forums, you know, admins and whatnot, but yeah, only one guy is handling it, of course. This grew to be an increasing problem as the site's popularity expanded. Well, no shit. More people coming out. Sorry, more people coming on at all hours of the day, and some people acting inappropriately, or a growing number of bots needed more active moderation to be combated. However, despite several pleas, these requests went unanswered or time. At one point, I commented on the forum about the lack of moderators and how disappointed I was in that. Unceremoniously and without asking if it was a job I wanted, I was made one of the moderators. Let me quickly check the chat. Oh, alright. Sorry, just checking Discord. Starring speculation, welcome back. Yeah, indeed. Fahemity says, "Oh God, please read Linkar's comic next stream." You know what? Yeah, I might actually do that. I've never read his comic. I believe it's called The Lightbringer. I've never read it. I've heard about it. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty terrible. So yeah, maybe I'll do that for the next stream. Anyway, despite my misgivings about being given such a role, I tried to do the best I could to answer incident reports and help Matthew, but both of us were active producers on the site and trying to do our own shows. The fact that Mike thought that I would be the one to solve these woes shows a disregard for the problems facing the forums and for the lives of the people who were told to fix them. Eventually, we convinced them to bring on Dodger of Zion to also act as a moderator, but that was it. I became less actively involved in the forums, which changed anyway during the site transition, so I no longer received reports. Sorry, just taking some water. The fact that they were unwilling to bring on anyone with seasoned moderator experience from the get-go, relying instead on a producer who was doing his own show and was equally not allowed to moderate his own forum section because of an understandable conflict of interest there, who didn't even want the job, is incredibly unprofessional given their desires or expansion. The mass exodus. Several people left Channel Awesome at roughly the same time. Some did so voluntarily, but two in particular did not. Allison Prigler and Phelan Porteous, which I already covered that on a previous stream. I think that might have been the first Friday nights with FilmNerd stream. So if you want, you can go back and check that out. While the others, Lindsay Ellis, Kyle Colgren, and Andrew Dickman, did so of their own volition, citing various reasons, the other two were different. There was a Skype chat that we used to contact the higher-ups and discuss business matters that were relevant to all the producers. It became the fastest method for distributing information for most producers simply because any previous attempts at distributing information had proved unsuccessful or were ignored. Email, direct messaging, Mike Machad, etc. The business chat was it. When Allison and Phelan left because of the incidents over Patreon, Machad and Rob Walker organized calls to each of the producers. I believe they were trying to assuage people's concerns about the site or directly answer questions to people. In the wake of what had happened, I knew there was a general feeling that the site was no longer in its glory days, and that the more optimistic sense of togetherness the site had engendered was going away. Despite my outrage at what had happened, I decided it would be best to try to fix things, particularly for the new producers who had only more recently signed on. Oh, got a donation. The Monday Mob donated $5 saying, "Here's hoping to 100 subs here soon, friend. Can't wait." Yeah, same here. And you know what? For the $5, I'll be right back. And I'm back. I got the rum here, so I'll just go ahead and take a drink. Cheers. Ooh, man. Alright. Whew. Okay. Let's get back to... Here we go. Despite my outrage at what had happened, I just okay. After all, many of them wanted to be on the site because it involved working with other producers they had admired, and I didn't want to give the impression the ship was sinking. I outlined a few complaints I had for the management, as well as several ideas I had for improving the site. These ideas included improved communication with producers, a dedicated social media person, have the social media link on the sidebar of the site, promoting not just Doug's work but various producers, reduce wasteful spending, opening the CA studio to be rented by other video producers, less charity drives where people are flown out, etc. Bring back the anniversary movies, in particular paying for them through the use of crowdfunding campaigns. The site itself had had a successful campaign, and other producers had also launched successful campaigns for independent projects. A larger, more deliberate presence at conventions to promote the site. Release information on what the higher-ups of the company do, since there is a perception that Mike Machad didn't actually do anything at the company other than issue orders. And overall of the comments system. Reduce the amount of advertisements on the site, or at least reorganize the sidebars to promote producers or new videos so it's the first thing people see instead of the ads. Yeah, something tells me that a lot of these did not get addressed. But you never know. Sorry, just checking Discord real quick. All of these ideas were rejected, save for doing more anniversary movies. See, I called it. Although they never truly came to pass aside for the 10th anniversary. The thing repeated over and over in response to each of these ideas was, it's our site, we'll do what we want. The final point I made to him was that, in light of what had happened with Allison's firing, I told Mike point blank that the incident had me lose respect for him. His answer was a terse, okay. Yeah, that's a great sign. The Monday Mob said, gets wasted, brother. It's been a night. Yep, it certainly has. I'm just gonna hide my screen real quick. I just kind of want to check on some stuff on Discord. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to double check some stuff. So how are you guys doing in the chat? You guys doing okay? We've currently got 3 viewers going. This is just kind of more of a chill stream. Just I don't know. I just figured we needed like a little palate cleanser after, what's been going on throughout the day. Anyway, let me go ahead and pull my screen back up, and we'll keep going. The Atop the Fourth Wall movie. Deciding to make my own movie and fashioning it off the style of the Channel Awesome anniversary movies with other video producers in it, I launched a successful crowdfunding campaign and produced my own film for my web series. Yeah, the Atop the Fourth Wall movie. I've actually seen it, though it's been a while since, been a few years, but I remember the movie's not particularly good. Like, it honestly has a lot of the same problems as a lot of the Channel Awesome movies, but I don't know. The Atop the Fourth Wall movie is at least easier to sit through. Like Lewis doesn't at least have delusions of grandeur like Doug does. Like, he doesn't have his head up his ass or think he's like the greatest video content creator ever. He's just a guy doing his thing, and I don't know. The movie was okay at the very least. But anyway, during production, as my assistant director and I worked to reduce costs for our budget, I realized that the studio space we needed could be made available by using the Channel Awesome studio. The studio went with charge $1,000 per day for the use of their space. After 10 days, that naturally came out to $10,000 of a $60,000 budget just for that space. In addition, because of the close proximity of the studio to 3 of the actors, costs will be further reduced by not having to fly them out to Minnesota. Yeah, I remember that's something that some people complain about with the movie, is that the movie had a budget of like $60,000, but it looked significantly cheaper. And stuff like this is what kind of justified the cost of the movie, was the fact that, stuff like renting studio space is not cheap. But anyway, I brought this information and my request to Mike Machad and Rob Walker. Rob was amenable to the idea, but Machad flat out refused. His reasoning was thus: it would interrupt the production of The Nostalgia Critic. Someone would need to be with us to supervise us. I would have to get insurance to protect against damage to the studio. These points are all ridiculous for a number of reasons. While production of the Nostalgia Critic could have been impacted, we would have been happy to spend some money to rent the space and make up for any lost revenue. The idea was to reduce our own costs, not spend nothing at all. In addition, not every Nostalgia Critic episode requires the use of the studio space. Simpler, less grandiose episodes could be made. Plus, Doug had done Nostalgia Critic for 5 years before without the use of the studio, and could simply film somewhere else in a manner that did not interrupt his video production. The idea that we would need to be supervised is insulting. We are all grown adults and do not require someone watching us at all times. It conveyed an idea that we were untrustworthy and could not act responsibly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate on this one. Like, I can kind of see what, I see it from both sides. Like, I understand Linkara, feeling like, oh, he obviously doesn't trust us. He thinks we're a bunch of children. But on the other hand, like, they probably spent however much money on the studio, so they're obviously protective of it. But yeah, either way, I can definitely see what he means. That it was kind of insulting. Storm Speculation says, I've never seen a single Channel Awesome movie. They all seem to, sorry, I'm just too dorky to have a genuinely fun team. Too dorky to have a genuinely funny team project. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. Honestly, why does Doug even film in his studio? He could have recorded shit at his house. Well, I mean, for the longest time, he was recording in his own home, but I guess as the years went on and he got much more popular, it just made sense for him to expand and want to do it in a studio rather than what he was doing before. So, yeah, I'm just kind of messing with some things right now in Streamlabs. Okay, there we go. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going. Sorry. Okay, the studio we did end up renting did not see any need to supervise us. The people who owned and worked in the studio normally simply staying in the office area to provide any assistance that we requested. The insurance request was not unreasonable. In fact, I ended up having to get insurance for the studio we did rent. However, Mashad listed this fact as a reason why we couldn't use the studio. That's especially confusing, since if he truly felt we were not that responsible enough to use the space, then surely getting the insurance would cover any potential risk. To be fair, it is entirely likely that using the studio would not have been a viable solution anyway, since the movie involved complicated sets that would need to be transported down from Minnesota at a great cost of time and labor, with no way to transport them back again for later use. However, the fact that Mashad was not even willing to humor the idea or discuss it any further demonstrated an unwillingness to work with us, compromise, or negotiate to make things easier. And that about wraps up the Linkara section. Let's see. Been going for about 25 minutes now. I guess I can go ahead and keep going. So, Alex Alexa Draw says, how bendy are FilmNerd's glasses? They're pretty bendy. Like, they're made of pretty strong plastic, but it's also, like, kind of bendable plastic in a way. Like, it's the kind of plastic where you can bend it and shape it however you want to, but it'll never break. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. But anyway, so the next section we got is on William Dufresne, or Dufresne, I'm not sure, aka Suede. I'm not too familiar with Suede. Like, I've seen his content before, but I haven't really watched a lot of his videos, so I don't really have much to say on him. But we'll just go ahead and read on. So, William Dufresne, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Suede. All of my statements are only in regards to events I was directly involved in. Though I wasn't affected as directly as many of the others, there are many instances where I felt the producers were negligent and unprofessional without any attempt at reconciliation or apology unless forced to. The earliest instance I can remember of something being off is during filming of Suburban Nights, where producers were mocked for wanting craft services and even water on set. Most of us were not being paid, and the organizers not just refusing but scoffing at the idea of fulfilling basic cast and crew needs was concerning. This is what kind of started there was this long running thing with Brad Jones where he basically boiled down the whole change the channel movement to people complaining that they weren't able to get Applebee's. You know, like yeah, because you know, complaining that you're on a film shoot that's going on for for like weeks and days and weeks on end, and you're complaining that you're not getting stuff like food and water. Like yeah, that's totally like you know that's totally a petty thing to argue about. Anyway, I wasn't there for it to boldly flee, so I can't comment on that experience. However, I was greatly concerned when it was revealed to me that Doug had decided to retire the nostalgia critic character in it, as well as strongly imply that the other producers would do the same with their personas. This is a massive change up that could have affected the income for all the producers using the site, including those such as myself who relied on blip revenue to support a family. Most visitors to the site did so solely from loyalty to the NC, and with a radically different format thrust forward with demo reel, many viewers were left unimpressed. This should have been put forward to those dependent on the NC's traffic so that we could offer alternatives or even just brace ourselves, but nothing. The majority of the producers were upset and got together over several drafts to pour forward a list of grievances and suggestions. Both this list and the reactions are available elsewhere, but suffice to say, apart from spotlighting producers on the site, almost all of it was ignored. Yeah. Anyway, I was one of the early adopters of Patreon and made a video, not advertising it, but discussing its pros and cons. As far as I am aware, the CA response to this was to tell other producers not to advertise their Patreons in their videos, as it gives off the impression of e-begging. This was after they told us not to use more than one mid-roll ad on blip per video to avoid encouraging site visitors to use ad block. This left many wondering how they were going to support themselves. CA eventually relented after near unanimous outcry. When I first left the site for a 2-year hiatus, the entire site got together for a farewell video. When Noah left, disregarding all other aspects, there was a heartfelt text post. When Linkara and I left, our archive was deleted and people had to ask where we went. It's almost understandable that they would focus more on what they can directly control, but the lack of acknowledgement, apology, or any kind of transparency regarding their past mistakes suggests to me that they simply don't care about those not directly under their umbrella. If that is the case, and they have not made any statements indicating otherwise as of writing, there's no longer any reason for me to be loyal to them. Yeah, kind of commenting on that. Depressant says the scene FilmNerd is Brandon Lee getting fucking capped on set. Oh god. Oh, that's bad. Oh, okay. It was in response to Vehemity saying, "Wait, film was a film strip, right? One movie / scene is printed on him." Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on a previous stream that the movie that's on this film reel that I am, it's actually a snuff film, so you'll never be able to see it because that stuff's illegal, and I don't think Susan would appreciate that. Anyway, so next up we've got another short one. This is Jacob Chapman, aka Jesu Otaku. So this person, I had seen a few of their videos, but they reviewed mostly anime, and they were originally a woman. I can't remember what their name was back then, but after leaving Channel Awesome, they transitioned, and now they refer to themselves as Jacob. So there's only 2 points here. Bashar was going to have me fired for criticizing the site. I told him that no, I would quit on my own terms, in my own time, or else I would go public with the chat logs I had of their abuse. They were 100% going to fire me for basically saying the site had issues in public at all, but they crumpled like wet cardboard when I told them it wasn't going to happen, without me publicly destroying their reputations as much as I could, though. So, damn, that's quite a lot. Okay, so next up we've got Benjamin Daniel, aka Benzai. Let's see. I'm kind of going off of memory here because, a lot of these guys, I haven't seen their videos in quite a long time, but Benzai, I believe, was a video game reviewer. He was French, I think. I'm probably wrong on that part, but anyway. Alex likes to draw film snuff set. Yeah, that's the name of the movie actually. Anyway, so Ben's Eye starts with, at no point ever was I told my video archive would not transfer from That Guy with the Glasses to Channel Awesome, or that I was let go or something, which happened in the years I published a feature-length movie and a TV series, albeit in French but subtitled. Guess I burned my bridge when notified Mike Machad he shouldn't be selling my GF's artwork as limited prints without giving her a share, since the shirts she got in exchange back when she did the Suburban Nights art was simply for the DVD and not ad vitam rights to sell her art. I probably butchered that. I found my fortune elsewhere, but management was indeed a farce at Channel Awesome. This at least taught me to never slave away for free, no matter what exposure I would get. Looking back, this is disrespectful, regardless of how much I owe That Guy with the Glasses. Yeah. He's the French guy with the bear. Maybe K-bit. I'm not even going to try to say that, because I just know I'd butcher it. Anyway, so next up we've got John Burkhardt, aka Chaos D1. This is another guy I'm not too familiar with. I think he mostly was a video game reviewer. I mostly knew him as the guy who would like pop into videos and shout like, something doesn't work that way. But that's really all I knew him as. But anyway, before I forget, I just kind of want to reiterate, if you guys donate to the stream, which obviously you don't have to, at least $5 or more, I will take a shot of my Captain Morgan sliced apple rum. I'm about halfway through the bottle. That's counting the other streams that I've done. So just wanted to throw that out there. If you want me to get progressively more drunk, then there you go. Anyway, let's get on with the document. Witnessed several contributors get unceremoniously removed from the site after the BTCA merger. I think that might be Blister Thumbs. Without directly informing any of them. Had to personally inform one of them myself. Had a one video per month policy implemented on us, which was later changed to a 2 video per month policy, roughly late 2016 or early 2017. Enforcement of this rule seemed random and arbitrary. Removed from schedule access after being 1 day late with a video due to wife's medical emergencies, despite having provided 4 videos to the site in the previous month and never having missed a regularly scheduled post for over 5 years. Yeah, this is getting pretty fucked. When discussing reinstatement with Greg, I'm not sure who Greg is, was told to wait a few days before reinstating me and claiming it was my one strike, only to receive a message several days later via Skype telling me, unfortunately, we were going to part ways with you, without discussing anything with me beforehand. When lamenting the sudden change, was shown a photo of my Twitter account where I asked if anyone still watched me on Channel Awesome, as I was recently unlisted, and Greg thought I posted the message out of spite after talking with him and being told to wait, despite it having been posted hours before our conversation. And we've got some chat logs here. I'll just go ahead and read through these. Greg. Again, I'm sorry I don't quite know who Greg is. Fancy Color says, hi, Film. Well, hey, how are you doing? Glad to have you on. Okay, let's see. I'm guessing it goes Chaos D1, then Greg, then Chaos. Okay. I take it I was unlisted. I can't access the scheduler anymore, and the last video I scheduled wasn't listed. Hey, you only had 1 video for April and never contacted me letting me know you couldn't get the second video out in time. I can add you. Okay, you know what? This is honestly like kind of boring. And I can't even like. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, you know what? I think I might just skip through this. This just seems kind of boring. Okay, and then there's some links here. We got the original Tumblr post. Let me check the chat. Okay, just double checking. Okay, yeah, this is pretty long. Yeah, I don't know if I need to really read through this. I think it might just go back over the stuff that's in the Not So Awesome document. So we'll just skip that. The Twitter post. Let's see here. Looks like I can't list videos on CA anymore. Did anyone even know I still listed videos? Allison says, I didn't, but to be fair, sure was nice of them to let you know. Oh, wait. Yeah, guess not. Anyway, my first and only interaction with Doug was after the massive cameo scene in To Boldly Flee, where we all gave the nostalgia critic our spirit bomb have all us plebeian producers listing off plot holes in films. I sent in a short scene where I honestly couldn't think of anything, but just appeared on camera saying, Birdemic, just Birdemic. I sent in the clip the appropriate way pretty early on and was told they received it. When I saw the final episode / part of To Boldly Flee and that scene came on, I wasn't in it at all. I brought this up to someone and somehow was told to talk to Doug about it. I'm pretty sure he just gained some lip service about adding it back in and just forgetting. Yeah, shit happens. When I asked him about retiring the nostalgia critic, I got a bit of an answer, but I didn't hesitate to throw him some subtle shade by saying love, luck, and lollipops before signing off. I figured it was a reference he wouldn't appreciate. Oh, and when the scene was added back in, it was a blink and you'll miss it half-second appearance of me just yelling, Birdemic! Yeah, again, nice to see that these people are being treated well. Depressant says, go to something more interesting like Jew Wario. I don't know if there is anything in here about Jew Wario. Let me actually do a quick... Okay, there's one thing listed here about Jew Wario. Okay, yeah, that's actually what we're on right now. So we'll just go right ahead to Dr. Gonzo, aka Nerd to the Third Power. I don't know who this person is. I'm really not. Donate $10 to have FilmNerd smoke a crack rock. You know what? I probably shouldn't go further because I don't want Susan to nuke the stream. Anyway, so let's start. Preamble. My part of the CA drama is probably a bit longer running than most. It wasn't limited to one single incident, nor even a group of smaller ones. It was one long, continuous torture session perpetrated by a man who I am convinced has no soul, no conscience, and I'd be very surprised indeed to find out he had a heart. It's also not one you heard a lot about while it was happening. This was the result of a social isolation imposed on me, if rumors to be believed, by design, first by a fellow contributor, and then by the aforementioned soulless wretch. Any guesses as to who that soulless wretch might be? Let me know in the chat who you... Jew Warriors. Okay, well... You know what? A lot of people are asking about him, so we'll get to that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. So, the Justin Carmichael tribute and the straw that broke the camel's back. In January of 2014, Justin Jew Wario Carmichael died by self-inflicted gunshot. Carmichael was a much-loved and respected member of the community. I personally didn't know him very well, again, because nobody was willing to talk to me, but I thought that it would be a nice thing to do, a kind of online wake, where we would bring everyone together who wanted to be there to say a few words about Justin. I didn't see anyone else talking about the idea, so I approached Michelle with the idea. In a rather, in hindsight, out of character moment, he got back to me immediately, and I presented him with the idea, and he said, well, you're not going to have to worry about that, Gonzo. So my first thought is he's already got something planned, but then he follows that up with, nobody know who you are. They won't care about anything you're going to put together. We're going to have Doug or Lewis or someone put something together. Someone people actually come here to see. Ouch. That's pretty loathsome. And I sat there stupefied. I couldn't believe that he had said that. Not just that he'd flat out said that to me, but that he'd said that about a plan to let people mourn a loss. And I realized that Mike Michaud never cared about anyone beyond what use he could get out of them. He would put together a Justin Carmichael tribute, but it wouldn't be about the loss. It wouldn't be about letting people grieve. To him, it was just another piece of content, something he can make money off even if only directly. I could even see his thought process. What's the only thing that sells better than sex? Death. He was thinking someone who never heard of CA finding this tribute and going, oh, someone on this site killed themselves? What's that about? And what's the site he worked on? It was never about the loss, it was about promoting the brand. That was the moment I realized Mashad was not and never was a man to be trusted. And that was the moment I knew my days with Channel Awesome were numbered. It's Rogue, he's a soulless rich. Yeah, fun fact, you guys, before he became Rogue Internet Man, he was actually Mike Mashad. He's the guy who ran Channel Awesome to the ground and still is to this day. Let's see if there's anything else on Jew Wario. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's all there is about him in this document. Let's see. Let's see. I guess I should probably go back and read and go back to where I was before with the Dr. Gonzo guy. Unless you guys want me to skip ahead to another section. Goodly Dress says, are you talking about the incest? No, if you're referring to what I think you're referring to, I'd rather not discuss that. Yeah, I would just kind of like to, not mention that thing. Just kind of keep this on topic about the whole Channel Awesome debacle. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and keep going. Okay, preamble. I already read that part. Anyway, like any good story, mine starts at the beginning, the literal beginning. If Channel Awesome had a book of Genesis, I was there to see it written. I was one of the first contributors brought onto the site, based on my Gaming Hall of Fame blogs. I was offered the position of article writer by Mike Mashad, and I accepted. Also present for this job offer was one Daniel, that Aussie guy Rizzo, or Aussie as we refer to him casually. Also brought onto the team as article writer was my friend Christine Cat Thompson, who started writing blogs there at my urging. For the first few months, things were great. Every evening, a massive Skype call would be conducted by Chris Rolo T. Larios and Sean Hope Within Chaos Faust, and we all would join in. I became friends with Chris and Sean, as well as with Ankara, Chrissy Goggles Diggs, Kaylin Marsgirl Saucedo, Benjamin Benzai Daniel, Patrick Cold Guy Burnden, and most of the crew from the first year. There were those I clashed with. Spoonie and I never saw eye to eye, and Angry Joe and I never got on. But that was because of personality differences with the former, and the latter was due to events which will be relayed here. Beyond those two, I got along with most everyone on the team, and we all came to be, I thought, really good friends. This didn't last. Alright, 7 years of hell. Shortly after the establishment of Blistered Thumbs is when things went to hell for me. I began to notice that members of the community, who I had been friends with before, were less and less likely to answer my messages. Whether they were to offer them guest spots on the podcast or just have a friendly chat. Eventually, nobody would return my messages. Eventually, the only reliable contact I had with Channel Awesome was with Mike Birdman Dodd, who had aligned to Channel Awesome management, as well as regular contact with members of the producer community. He relayed to me a rumor that Mashad had told other producers on the site that I was trouble and that they were to keep contact with me to a minimum. I cannot verify the truth of this rumor, and even Dodd himself admitted that he couldn't say for sure if the rumor was true. Excuse me. If it was true, however, then it was a deliberate abuse tactic on Mashad's part to isolate me from the rest of the CA community. And it is this isolation that I think led in large part to what would follow in my time with Channel Awesome. We continue to produce Nerd to the Third Power, hereafter referred to as N3, and brought in additional team members. We would produce a video version of the podcast to go on the site, as well as an MP3 download on the company FTP server for people to download and listen to. At the start, we had access to our viewership numbers via counters on the website, but these were eventually removed. When I asked Mashad for our subsequent numbers after the disappearance to gauge performance, I was consistently ignored until one time when I got a reply to the effect of, "Stop asking for your numbers. They suck anyway because nobody comes here to listen to you." Wow, That is pretty shitty, I'm not gonna lie. This would become the lion's share of how any contact between me and Channel Awesome management. Mashad would randomly message me and tell me something to the effect of, your numbers are low, get them up, or you'll be booted from the site. Yet he would not tell me what our numbers were or what total we needed to get. In addition, my show and all the other podcasts were buried at the bottom of the then exceptionally overcrowded front page where nobody could find us unless they scrolled all the way to the bottom. We would always be last on the new content slider on the front page and would only remain on said slider for one day, as they would be removed the next day. Meanwhile, everything else that came out the same day we did was still there. The side panel slider was for many months one slot short of the number of shows meant to premiere on any given day. So unless the schedule for that day wasn't completely full, which it seldom wasn't completely full, we wouldn't appear on that side panel at all. Let me just check the chat real quick. Fancy Color says, Channel Awesome was that old cluster of creators that fell apart, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I mean, they're still active, like they're still around, but it isn't what it used to be. Like, all the big producers that were there, they're gone. Like, I think at this point, it's now just down to 3 people. There's Doug, obviously, there's Brad Jones, and there's Guru Larry. Although, in Guru Larry's defense, I think he's still on the site, but as like a joke. Like he's not, actually an active part of Channel Awesome. He's just there, just for the fuck of it. Which I kind of have to respect that. Stern Speculation says, "This is what happens when the losers who got bullied in high school. This is what happens when the losers who got bullied in high school become when they're in charge." Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Channel Awesome could be huge if they play their cards right a decade ago. Yeah, Depressing, that's actually a good point. But it's just unfortunate that the guys who ran Channel Awesome were and still are just complete buffoons. It's quite remarkable. Anyway, we would schedule our shows months in advance. On numerous occasions, we would schedule an episode, and the day it was supposed to come out, we would find that our show had been replaced with something else. Typically, this was a Linkara, Joe, or Spoonie vid, or a special vid put out by the site management. At no point would we receive any warning the show was being replaced, and we would have to reschedule the episode ourselves. And because at this point the schedule was full up months in advance, that meant it would have to be scheduled 3 or 4 months down the line. The worst this got was in 1 year, it happened 3 times. So every episode that came out that year would actually be 3 or 4 weeks old because we'd been preempted so much. This happened mainly when Mashad was doing the site updates, but it also happened on 2 occasions when Holly Brown was doing the site updates. Although when she preempted us, she would put our show up on the next day's rotation with proper placing on the new content slider and side panel. There were also a number of occasions when I would find that our entire rotation of episodes on the back-end site were deleted off of the calendar. On numerous occasions, the show would be published but would not be placed on the front page or the new content slider. It would simply have its own episode page put up, and that was it. And when I went to Mashad about this, he would tell me, "Why do you care? Nobody listens to you anyway. Your numbers suck. It doesn't matter if you go on the front page." This is if he even responded at all. And when he did respond, it would be hours or even days after the fact. Many have spoken about Mashad's legendary evasiveness. Well, I got it too. Yeah, this Mashad guy, I don't know, he doesn't seem put together. He doesn't exactly strike me as a very nice guy. In fact, I'd say he's kind of an asshole. But anyway, he would also randomly message me to offer feedback on the show. Invariably, it was negative and mostly abusive. "Your background music sucks. You need to lose the British girl." Skyblaze, our convention/tabletop correspondent, is from the UK. "She's boring. Why do you do so many movie reviews? We got Doug for that." After several years of not having any problem with how we handled our MP3 downloads, we were told randomly that all MP3 files had to be less than 20 megabytes in size. This is for a show that at the time had recorded audio from 6 people plus background music and ran for 2 hours. I had to purchase web hosting and host the files myself and send Mashad a download link, which half the time he wouldn't post, and I'd have to chase him down and make noise that he put it up to get me to quiet down. This continuous treatment from the management sent me into a deep and at times very nearly suicidal depression. Given the events surrounding what I am about to relate, I will spare you the details of my emotional traumas. Yeah, I mean, holy shit. Like, I mean, I knew Mashad was an asshole before, but man, this brings it to a whole nother level. I think, like holy crap. Um, okay, and I already went through the whole Justin Carmichael thing, so we'll just go on to the transition from that guy with the glasses to Channel Awesome and my final exit. Just checking the chat. Nothing new going on. Okay, just checking to see how you guys are doing. Anyway, around the time the company moved from the That Guy with the Glasses website to the Colonel Channel Awesome domain, I suffered a laptop crash and lost my login credentials to the site backend. I want to say it was just after the transition, as I have vague memories of at least one episode of N3 going up on the new site. I sent numerous messages to Mashad asking for him to send me my credentials so I could log in and schedule shows, but I never received any reply. Finally, after a few months of this, I got a message from one of my team members on the show over Facebook. Did you pull the show from Channel Awesome? And I didn't know what he meant, and he said, our show page on the CA website is gone. All of our episodes we have there are gone. And I looked on the website, and sure enough, our show listing was gone, as were any links on the front page for us. And when I logged into my CA email address, I was provided the email billysmith@channelawesome.com. Fat load of good that did me. I found that it had been shut down, so all my emails, all my messages, poof, not there anymore. And that's how I found out we'd been cut from Channel Awesome. No notice, no warning, no nice. We wish Dr. Gonzo the best of luck on the website. Just cut away like a stray lock of hair. One final note. Oh, and for one final note, for him saying that it's one final note, no, it's actually more like 4. I'm sure you will hear from many other CA contributors about the awesome producer community, how it was a tight-knit group of friends who stood up for and helped each other and got along oh so well. Let me tell you, after Aussiegate, I don't remember any of that. The reason I believe that my abuse in Mashad's hands went unnoticed and unknown until now is because I was so isolated from the wider producer community. People that I had called friends just stopped talking to me or having anything to do with me. And people who say they're my friends now, who were back then in positions to know what was going on and could have helped me, stood idly by and did nothing. If I wanted to get anyone to come on the show, it just didn't happen, because nobody would return my messages, so after a while, why bother trying? I never got any friendly, hey, you seem like you're having a rough time, or hey, haven't heard from you in a while, how you doing? Nobody said anything in my defense throughout the entire time I was Mashad's whipping boy. I don't know if Mike Dodd's rumor about Mashad blackballing me to other producers is true or not, but it would not surprise me at all. Isolating a victim from their support network is a textbook abuse tactic, and I was basically locked alone in a dark room with Mashad for all the support I was able to get from the community. So the only conclusions I can draw is that either Mashad told them to stay away, or none of them really cared enough to ask after me and find out what was happening. I don't remember the community because frankly I wasn't a part of it, but let me be clear, the soulless, money-grubbing piece of dog shit had us all fooled. If you can take one lesson from my story, let it be this. Channel Awesome is a meat grinder, and its owners and managers are fat swine feeding off the blood, sweat, and tears of good people. Them and their like care nothing for you, your well-being, or your ambitions, and they will tear you open and suckle on your innards if you give them the chance. Maybe that's not the happy ending people want to read, but if all this other drama should teach us anything, it's that nothing involving Mike Mashad has a happy ending. Wow, just reading all that, like, man, that took something out of me. Like, wow, it's pretty harsh, not gonna lie. Sorry, just checking Discord really quick, seeing if anything's going on. How are you guys doing tonight? I saw that I've currently got about 6 viewers in the chat. Hasn't been active in a little while. How are you guys doing tonight? I know it's kind of late. It's about midnight where I am right now. Let's see. Fancy Color says, "Damn, this is the shit that kind of makes me not want to do internet videos." Yeah, I know. I totally feel that. You know, but I don't think it's necessarily like a thing that occurs with all internet producers. It's more just like kind of a nice like a thing with like joining a certain community. You know, you think you might be in the right place with the right people, but eventually they'll like turn your back on you. Starting speculation: are you gonna look at the BuzzFeed drama after this? Some of their former staff look angry. I don't know if I will. I'm honestly not that big into BuzzFeed. And I don't know. I am trying to keep this stuff like on brand, and I don't really know if BuzzFeed could really relate to movies at all. Fancy Color says, "Chillin', just playing games and listening to you." Well, I'm glad I could help you chill out. You know, it's always good to know. Anyway, so next up we got Leon Thomas, aka Renegade Cut. Again, not too familiar with them. Let me actually. Oh, okay. Theirs is pretty short, only like 4 bullet points. So, how long have we been going for? Looks like almost an hour. So I think I'll go through this last section, and then that'll be the end of the stream. So let's go ahead. All right. Just gotta readjust myself. Okay. I joined Channel Awesome in February 2011 and stayed until April 2016. I was brought into the fold when Channel Awesome launched Blistered Thumbs, a related website dedicated exclusively to video games. Eventually, I made a new web series and requested to be switched over to the main site. Compensation to Blistered Thumbs writers came only in the form of the occasional reviewed copy of a game. No actual paid compensation. Those who were video producers like myself received nothing. Like all Channel Awesome contributors, we were paid in exposure. Blistered Thumbs eventually died due to neglect from Channel Awesome management. Because of this, it is difficult for those who work there to use their experience with Blistered Thumbs as a business reference to gain paid work. In other words, the exposure did not work the way the contributors hoped. Excuse me. Early in the days of my new web series on Channel Awesome called Renegade Cut, Doug Walker made a rebuttal video editorial to my short video on The Big Lebowski. He used video footage from my channel without asking me. I believe in some level of fair use, but this is a remarkably unusual thing for management to do to a subordinate. I believe Doug Walker thought he was doing me a favor simply by referencing my web series. I found it insulting that I was not consulted. Channel Awesome does not in any way own rights to the videos made by its unpaid producers. The history of broken promises and extreme lack of communication between management and video producers eventually created a tense relationship. After years of persisting, Mike Machad finally agreed to meet with us over Skype in small groups for about 4 at a time. In my meeting, Machad claimed that we would do what we could. Machad claimed that we would do what he could to meet our needs and presented himself as agreeable and understanding. But over time, he bowed out of communicating with us completely. By the time I left the company, Machad had long since left the official Channel Awesome Skype chat that we use for collaborations and for producer management communication. He refused to speak to us any longer. And I think with that might be a good place to end the stream off. Depression says, exposure is the offered payment for broke. I can't finish that, but you know what? I agree. Fancy Color, it's gross that they were paid in exposure bucks. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these people, probably spent like, video editing is not easy. It takes, a long time to do, depending on what kind of stuff you're doing. It could take days, weeks, even months just to get a video out sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad to have the viewers that I did. So anyway, before I go, I'm just gonna go ahead and promote my stuff, just for the hell of it. If you check in the description, you'll find links to my various social media accounts. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. You can also join my Discord server if you want to. That should be in the description. Of course, I've got my website, which I will pull up right now. FilmNerd.com, where all of my movie reviews are. I've been writing for about 3 years. I review all kinds of stuff, new releases, classic films, and even cult films. My most recent review was for Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger Part 4, for my long-running Trauma Tuesday series. if you like what I do, you can support me on Patreon. I've got a couple of reward tiers that you can sign up for. You can get like roles in the Discord server, early access to reviews, a spot on my website on the patrons page, and even review requests once per month, where you can request me to review any movie you want. No matter how bad the movie is, I will do it. I've also got a Ko-Fi if that's your thing. You can also donate to me on PayPal. I've got a YouTube channel, of course. Feel free to subscribe to that if you want to see more videos like this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I should have a new review out sometime tomorrow. It's getting pretty late where I am right now. But yeah, I should have one out tomorrow, and I should have some more reviews coming pretty soon. So until then, I will see you guys. Oh, hang on. For $5 from Depression, we got a donation. Do a Juwana Man review. You know what? Sure, maybe someday I will. Oh man. Okay. With that, I think I'm gonna end it. So, thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you later.